Mr. Graham, a whole lot of moving and shaking in all three leagues this weekend.
Yes.
Championship had some really interesting storylines, but also League One, the bottom of the table. Big shakeup at the bottom of the fucking table that's worth talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
And really the best part is, Patrick Bamford fancied himself Maradona.
Yeah, he did.
Well, let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of my lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to DU Does EFL, a completely biased brief recap of the entire English Football League as told by two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, still figuring everything out, Mr. Samuel Graham.
I figured everything out. I'm good.
Oh, no, you haven't.
What are you talking about?
Just in general.
No, I've got it.
You got it? Are you sure?
I'm like Doctor Strange, man. Yep.
We're recording at DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
If you want more of that sweet, sweet insight, you can just hit us up at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Very, very good. Well,
Neither way are a good way to get in touch with me. So you should find that closed group, Drunken United FC on Facebook, because
that's all we really pay attention to.
That's where I'm at most of my time.
I actually pay attention to the Twitters.
I know, but you don't have 3 kids.
Oh, you know.
And you aren't memed nearly as much as Graham is.
Yeah, I get fucked big time. God, why'd I say that? Here comes another couch pick.
Well,
God damn it.
You have 3 kids. I have her.
Hi.
Yeah, but you retreat into your phone to get away from that.
And you're not wrong.
I have to give my phone up to get away from mine.
Yeah, true.
Here, watch SpongeBob.
Leave me alone.
Here, take this, you little twat. It's fine. So I don't have time to respond to the DMs.
We are drinking the exact same shit we did in the last show, so let's get into the action.
Championship Corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh, no.
Very
I wanted
good.
a live version before I didn't see you for a week.
Of her doing oh no.
I'll see you Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, I got to put you to bed.
Yeah.
I might be a little late. I have to put Cameron to sleep, too.
Fucking brilliant. The championship was kind of fucking crazy, and we opened with Southampton, and they're 21 unbeaten.
What, they lose 9-0 again?
Yeah, no, they did not.
Damn
Their
it.
21 unbeaten streak. They were down 2-0 at the half to 21st place Huddersfield Town.
Well, if Neil Warnock was still in charge, it could have been 9-0. But he's up on the north coast of the end of the world, so he couldn't be there for it.
The Saints come back not once, not twice, and then eventually put in 5 fucking goals and win 5-3.
Nice.
To continue the streak now to 22 unbeaten matches.
That's wild. That's fucking, that absolutely is genuinely fucking good.
Leeds held serve with a 3-0 win over last place out of Rotherham, but the problem was the old first goal, Patrick Bamford decided to pull his best Diego Maradona with the old hand of God and knocked it right in with his hand.
Punched it right in the net there. Yep. Sure did.
No VAR at that level.
No, of course not, because it's a shit level, and that's where they deserve to be, to be honest with you. JK. But no, I mean, the worst part about it, I feel like the championship clubs have enough money to install a computer system.
Yeah. They should have it.
And
They should have
most
it.
of those clubs, I mean, if you look at how many, since the advent of VAR, most of those clubs have been in the Prem, at least in the top half of the table. A lot of those clubs have been in the Premier League in the last 5 years and should have VAR capabilities at their stadium anyway.
Right.
So just implement it across the league.
Yeah.
Or guess what? Government or FA or whoever, you're going to pay to implement it, not put it on the clubs. Because it's a quote-unquote rule change. So you guys do it. Guess what you'd also be creating? Jobs. People to man those cameras. You'd be deciding on more referees. You'd be doing all sorts of various things to stimulate your local economy as well.
You could train referees using VAR.
I wouldn't trust them to train referees. I'd send them to Italy for training. They do a much better job with VAR over there. But I take your point.
And now also Leicester won, so Leicester kept their lead at the top. But those three teams are clearly really putting up some massive fucking points. And Ipswich still in it, but
their point advantage is getting better.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, very
what
much
was it?
so.
Point security. Their point security is getting better.
Point
Leicester.
security. Now,
or at least staying the same.
The big one, West Ham, and this one is one that hits home for us as Americans. Very young, talented striker by the name of Daryl Dike. We know him from a couple of years ago when he was with Barnsley. Had scored 20 goals in a singular season. Played in the Gold Cup, scored a few goals there. People were really starting to talk about him. There was actually talk of him being signed by some Premier League clubs. Clearly, very young, and he still is quite young, but he ultimately went to West Brom, where he's dealt with injuries almost the entire time he's been there, over and over and over again. And this past weekend, he re-ruptured his Achilles, meaning that it is the second time he has ruptured his Achilles. Normally, they carry you off on a stretcher. They actually had to bring out the cart and drive him off. And he was seen sobbing. Just absolutely.
Third season in a row has had his season ended early.
Massive
as
injury.
And obviously, very recently, last night, we saw a player for San Francisco in the Super Bowl was running to be subbed on, was running to his position and made it about 2 steps onto the field and ruptured his Achilles.
Yep.
And then one of the other very funny memes I saw from the Super Bowl weekend was the statistics about how much it cost for a 30-second ad, which is about $7 million. And the meme stated, which is quite funny, also a little sad if he wasn't such a jackass, but the last time $7 million only paid for 30 seconds was when the Jets signed Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, a ruptured Achilles, which is funnier because he's a jackass. However, as an athlete, I never want to see somebody get hurt like that. It
well,
is
and also
but it's super sad for Daryl Dike. It's what a kick in the nuts, man. Just seriously again.
Well,
like you got to deal with this.
What's the thing we've been...
And it's very obviously somebody that wants to play, that wants to do it, that his body's just not keeping up.
When we talk about the United States men's national team, one of the things we keep saying is we need that like tip of the spear. And there's been some strikers, but no one really seems to want to step up. Like Ricardo Pepe's good every once in a while, but not all the time. And DK was this kid that was like, give him a few years. By the time the U.S. World Cup comes, he'll be ready to go. And by that time, we assume that kid had already netted 20 for Barnsley, probably would have eventually netted 20 for West Brom and would be playing for a mid-level Premier League team and ready for the stage. And it's just been injury after injury after injury. And you're gutted for him. Yeah, absolutely gutted
100%.
for the kid.
It's terrible.
Moving on to League One, Pompey advanced their spot at the top of the table to 6 points now with a 1-0 victory over last place Carlisle, and they were at last place Carlisle, so they had a little bit of a tough go, but they figured out a way to win. Everyone in the top 6, every single team in the top 6, besides Portsmouth, have multiple games in hand.
Nice.
So
That's a very Portsmouth thing to do.
yeah,
Oh, we're winning.
go 6
And we're
point
going to
lead.
extend our point security. But all of you have games in hand.
You can all
Nice.
catch it. Right
Yeah,
the
you
fuck
gotta-
up. All
And
of
we
you can.
literally can't do anything about it because we're not
just,
playing.
Just sit there and watch you all catch it up. Which there's going to be a good round of games being played this week and then the following week as well. So you're going to start to see
Those
some of
games
those
even
teams
out. Yeah.
pop in as well. But what I really want to do is I want to focus on the bottom of the table where things have taken a massive switch. Reading, since the new year, have gotten 4 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss, and have now shot all the way to 18th place. And they are only on a -4 goal differential, which is honestly 2 other teams in the bottom half have as good of a goal
Have
differential as
single digits. Yeah.
like
It's
going
huge.
from
It's another point.
they were
How many
just
times have we said it?
struggling so badly, and it was just like, will they ever get out of it? To not even just get out of it, to shoot past fucking everyone to get themselves up the table.
Yep.
So now we
And then
find
another one with a points deduction, weren't they?
no points deduction. They started that shitty was exactly what happened with them. Now the
They
team
were
that
just that bad, huh?
yeah, they were. The team that is now down there with them, which is also exceptionally interesting, is one of those teams that's been a part of the Premier League furniture. I mean, not Premier League furniture, but Championship and League One furniture for quite a while. Charlton United.
Athletic.
I mean, Charlton Athletic. Yes, my apologies. They're someone who's always kind of been soundly a yo-yo club between League One and the Championship, and
I've spent a fair few seasons in the Premier League as well. That I remember. I became familiar with Charlton from the Premier League.
now, and they're just in front of Port
Same
Vale.
thing with Middlesbrough.
Yep, they're just in front of Port Vale. Port Vale does occupy the final of the 4 spots that goes down. And the other one worth mentioning, the O's are now only 2 points out of 8th place. They've been on a bit of a hot streak too. Remember, they beat Pompey and Bolton in back-to-back weekends, and they're looking really fucking good. Might actually have an outside shot at the playoffs.
Come on, Leighton.
Come on, you O's.
I'm in for that.
Wrexham are now on a 4-match losing streak and have slipped to 5th place, where just a month ago they were looking at possibly taking over League Two.
Yeah, but there's still, again, in the lower league, 6,352 games left to play. So I wouldn't be too terribly concerned about that if they could recapture some form.
Get to 3rd and you get an automatic promotion.
However, it's also not the worst thing in the world. Stay in a league. Stay in a football league.
Yeah. That's, I mean, yeah, you would love
You're
to
ahead
get up
of
to League
schedule
One.
for the rebuild.
Just stay
Yeah.
in the fucking league.
You're ahead of schedule for the rebuild, right? Especially if you went up again. Because if you went up again, took the investment, spent it, not the investment, took the prize money and all that stuff, spent it all with everything they've spent on the ground, then being relegated again could have been a problem.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, no. That's right. If's dropping soon in theaters. They'll be okay. On a serious note, from a footballing sense, if you went up again straight away and then, with the redevelopment bills coming due for the stadium with player transfers, as much money as you spent to get into the Football League again as you did, I'm sure they would adopt a similar transfer policy. There could be trouble if they got relegated once more.
That's fair, but they're not out of.
I think League One at this stage would probably be too much of a jump for them, quality wise.
They might still jump there, though. They're not.
I know.
They're not out of it,
I know. And it'd be massive if they did, and it'd be a great story, and the documentary would get another season, and the documentary would get another fucking, £1 billion or whatever it is. But I just feel like, I don't know.
Our beloved.
I just worry if they advance too quickly. That's all.
Got it.
They might be in over their heads and find themselves in some difficulty. So it's not the end of the world if they don't get promoted. In my view.
Our beloved Aki lost 1-0. 1-0 to MK Dons. And MK Dons, Aki has fallen to 13th place. MK Dons now occupy the 6th spot for the playoffs. And they were a team that got that came down from League One the season before. So they're starting to find their boots as well.
Nice. There is, I don't know if either English Mark listens to this particular show of ours. But I was reminded the other day of an advert from, and it made me think of it because of Tottenham, actually. I heard this fun fact. I think it was a milk advert in England in like the late 70s or early 80s or something. And it said something along the lines, it was somebody famous in either the royal family or the government or football or something that was like walking in a park and saw a kid hit a screamer into the top corner at the park. And he goes, "Oh, man, that's pretty good. If you keep drinking milk, you might play for Accrington Stanley one day." And the kid goes, "Who are they?" And then the guy goes, "Exactly."
Well, that's the bit from the one that Ben talked about with Accrington Stanley that had Ian Rush.
Oh, it was Ian Rush. You're right. Okay, so it was Ian Rush.
Yeah, those kids are in there. There's no cracker of a shot.
Whatever
the
it is.
Kids are in the kitchen.
Doesn't matter.
The one kid pulls out a glass. The two kids pull out and have some milk.
The sentiment's the same.
And the kid said Ian Rush says you could play for Accrington Stanley. The one kid says, "Who's Accrington Stanley?" And the other kid drinking the milk goes, "Exactly."
Fair enough. Fine. The sentiment's the same, right? Apparently, the fun fact I heard, which is the point of this entire story, is they sounded out Tottenham Hotspur. The original line was, "You could play for Tottenham Hotspur." And the kid goes, "Who's that?" And the other kid goes, "Exactly." But they sounded out Tottenham's PR department at the time, and they said, "No, you're not doing that."
And at the top of the table, it definitely appears to be a 2-horse race now between Stockport and Mansfield. Now, Wrexham
which is boring, which is why I told that story instead.
Wrexham does have games in hand, so if they can get themselves back into it, but this losing streak certainly has not helped them.
No, not at all.
All
Absolutely
right,
not.
gonna wrap.
But again, there's so many fucking games. They have a chance to get it back.
Well, and they're going to be a lot of coming in hot and heavy because once they get out of the winter, they start playing on every Tuesday and every Saturday as well.
Yep.
Because Tuesdays for TV rights, they actually get on TV that day.
And get a huge amount of money for it.
Right, because there's no domestic games on TV.
Correct, because everybody's in the Champions League and shit.
Only Champions League in Europe, of course.
That's right, which also kicks back off this week.
Yep, exactly. That's going to wrap it up. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Not really, no.
I didn't bother with the FA Cup recap. Mel lost. Villa's out.
Yep. Sorry, kid.
Yeah.
And that's it for this show.
Did you do a little Malort for that? Didn't we do Malort for that?
No, it's not in my contract.
She.
You guys did it for fun, but we go back to the season rules, and that is not a rule, and I don't agree to it.
Let's listen to what you just said.
What?
We did Malort for fun. Does that seem like a thing?
Yes, you two did Malort for fun, and the first time we tricked you into doing Malort, that was fun.
All right, everybody. Next up is injury time. We're going to talk about the beers we've been drinking, check in on our fantasy teams, and, of course, preview the weekend's action. Should somebody want to find injury time, Mr. Graham, how do they go about doing it?
Finally, I get to suck another dick. It's Patreon.com.
Isolate that one.
Don't do that. Patreon.com/DU Football Show to sign up to all of our extra shit. It's one $5 tier, very easy. And eventually we'll get to that video we've been promising you because the last few weeks have been very busy and rough
Very
and
busy.
not easy to find, time to get a groundhog costume.
We will do it next week. It'll happen. Till next week, everybody. Good night.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston. Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of my lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking good night.